Hello there, it's Geoff Barton. It's Friday the 17th of November. I'm in Aberdeen. Aberdeen is out there. And look, we've got a mystery guest. It's Graham Hutton. Graham, great to see you. General Secretary, School Leaders Scotland. We'll say a little bit about who School Leaders Scotland are in a minute. But first of all, who is Graham Hutton?
Oh, well, thanks very much, Geoff. I'm Graham Hutton, as he's just said, and I'm General Secretary of School Leaders Scotland. I've just taken up post on the 1st of September, succeeding Jim Hewlett. I was head teacher at Grove Academy in Broughty Ferry, which is in Dundee, the city of discovery. And previous to that, I was head teacher at Dumbarton Academy, well across in the other side of the country. And I've been teaching for over 40 years. So I took retirement in June, and this is my retirement, running School Leaders Scotland. This young man here is retiring in a year, and I'm older, and I've taken up the job. I'm loving it.
Well, let's not dwell on that kind of stuff. Instead, let's talk about, you've got 200 school leaders there.
Yeah.
Had an extraordinary day yesterday. Fantastic speech by Professor Sir Geoff Barton just now, talking about and challenging us about the need to teach black history and the history of slavery. I mean, really, really powerful stuff there. But should we just talk about the kind of issues that leaders in Scotland are dealing with?
Sure. Well, first on our plate is the reform agenda. We've had a number of reports from Louise Hayward on assessment, qualifications, and we are looking for the status quo at the moment can't continue, because we are not really doing a good job by the people who are the high flyers, because they're not thinking for themselves. So we've got to teach them to learn and to think for themselves. The young people in the middle, the 60% we talk about, they need to raise their game a wee bit more so their jobs at the end of the day will be better. And we are, like yourselves, not really doing the best by the forgotten third at the bottom, who leave school without any qualifications whatsoever. So the reform agenda about the qualifications is to make sure that there's a parity between vocational and academic, and also that all the levels of achievement are recognised and equally. So there's a big agenda there, and we're just waiting for the Cabinet Secretary, who spoke to us earlier on this morning and was a bit more positive about moving towards the reform. She wanted to consult a bit more, but we're looking forward to something happening now, because the status quo, as I said earlier, can't continue. Funding, and the way that's happening, the Scottish Government has very much a fixed budget, as you probably know from Westminster, but also they've now got a Verity House agreement with the local authorities, and that's going to change the way.
And you've got a lot of local authorities, it's fair to say.
32 local authorities and probably 33 different ways of doing things.
And yet the population of Scotland is, someone was saying yesterday,
yeah,
around the size of Kent.
That is not working without any shadow of a doubt. And one of the questions to the Cabinet Secretary is, can we envisage another way of doing it? Way back in time, before in the 90s, we had 8 regions, and maybe that's the way to move back forward, to regionalise it a bit more. But each authority, each of the 32 authorities has a different staffing formula, a different funding mechanism, how they fund schools. And although there's money coming direct from the government for the PEF fund, which is Premier Equity Fund, or cost of the school day, where we're trying to pay curriculum, core curriculum costs like home economics, techie, and art design, that is not filtering through to a lot of schools because it's been used to cover the gaps in their budget. Attendance is another thing we're worried about.
And behaviour was mentioned as well this morning. So you can see there's lots of universal equivalents all across the UK, the same kind of issues. The striking thing is the amount of optimism as well. Great people here, and Graham, you're a great person. Thank you very much indeed.
My great pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the hospitality. And so just to say, there's a few other issues. Have a look at the email version today. There's talk about some of those mitigations around exams. We talk about that a little bit today. We certainly talk about funding. We've got the Chancellor's awesome statement coming up next week, send funding, but also something which we have been noticing because we've been meeting so many of you, and we see it here, the kind of public service you've got, the values, the integrity, the ethical leadership you're demonstrating. We just reflect on that in our blog today, because we need to see more of it, frankly, from other people who are in public life. Have a look at the blog and see what you make of it. As always, if you need us, we're here for you, the hotline team. If you just want to tell us something, then tell us at ascl.org.uk. Looking forward to seeing more of our members next week. See you in Coventry, see you in London, see you in Belfast. But before all of that, have yourself a good weekend when you can.